I'm Jules from thestonessoup.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make what I call a refrigerator soup, which is really just what my go-to recipe for when I need to use up leftovers in the fridge. So we'll jump into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make it. For our refrigerator soup is I find it's best just to get everything out of the fridge that looks like it has potential to go in the soup and just have it all in the one place, and then you can kind of look and see what you've got and kind of decide from there. So I've got some, it's hard to see in the bag, but it's got like a tiny bit of cauliflower there, so that definitely needs eating up. I've got, you know, half a carrot and that can go in. I've got a zucchini that's looking a bit past it. So I tend to prioritise veg. Yeah, it's not looking so great, and I've also got some celery, which is looking a bit past it as well, so they can all go in. Got some chilies, so I'm kind of thinking something spicy could be good. I've got heaps more carrots if I need them, so that's kind of good to know. I've got some prosciutto, which could be good. These are some cooked black beans, so they're kind of thinking a black bean and veggie soup would be really nice. But I've also got some leftover. That's a lentil risotto, like a ham and lentil risotto, so that could actually work quite well in a soup. What else have we got? Miso paste, tomato paste, Thai green curry paste. I've got some yogurt, homemade yogurt there, and this is some cooked barley. So I'm kind of thinking, the way I usually think is I kind of decide what's going to be I've got my veggies, so I'm going to have something in veg. So that's kind of cool, and then it's like up to me. I could either go with the black beans or with the barley. So I'm kind of thinking black beans have been in the fridge for longer, so we might go a black bean soup. So then the next decision is, what sort of base do we want it to have? Do we want it to be brothy, or do we want it to be tomatoey and rich? You know, or do we want to go down the path of having like kind of more of a curry vibe? Because I know I've got some coconut milk in the pantry, and don't forget, you know, you've got what's in your pantry and your and your freezer as well. So I think I've got enough here to make my soup without that, but I often, you know, dip in it. Maybe I'll get some frozen peas or, you know, a can of tomatoes, but I know this tomato paste needs eating up, and I think like a tomatoey black bean soup will work well. Look for my highlighting ingredients. So I've got this prosciutto, which could be really nice draped over the top to give it a bit of meatiness. Or we could go down the path of some yogurt, or I've got this leftover dressing, which doesn't look very nice because it's just been, the oil solidified in the fridge, but it's actually crumbled feta. And that's another thing, I've always got some Parmesan cheese in the fridge as well. So I think I might actually use my crumbled feta as my topping, and that's what we need. So this next step is to get our liquid happening. So we want 1.5 cups or 3 cups of liquid, 1.5 cups of liquid per person, or 3 cups of liquid for soup enough for 2. So if I'm just making soup, I'd just throw things in a pot and wouldn't worry about it. But if you're a bit if you want a bit more of an insurance policy, this is a good kind of just rule of thumb. So I've got a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. Remembering this is quite rich, so maybe I'll just use 3. If you wanted to use up the whole jar, you could. 3, 4, that's fine. And then we're going to make up the rest of that with just some water. So I'll just get some water from the tap, make up our 3 cups. And if you had stock, if you had powdered stock, that's a great, you know, vegetable bouillon cubes. That's a great thing to use as well. You know, it's just whatever you've got on hand. Or you could just use straight water. It doesn't have to be flavoured, and you rely on getting the flavouring from your other ingredients. So that looks lovely. So I'll get a pan on, and I'll just pour my liquid into the pan so we can start heating up while we're getting the rest of our veggies ready. So just to make sure that our soup's going to be thick enough, we want about so it's 1.5 cups and about 250 grams, or that's about half a pound of stuff and, you know, kind of things to go in the soup. So I'll weigh my veg. I don't normally weigh this again, but just if you want a starting point. That's our veg, and then I'm going to finish off with black beans. So I'll just get them out of the way. So we've got about 200 grams of veg there, and then so we'll make it up to 500 grams or to a pound, because we're making for 2 people, remember? So that's 300 grams, so I might as well just use up the rest of my black beans. So that's kind of how it works. It just gives you a starting point, but then, you know, I usually just end up throwing everything in the pot anyway. So there we go. So now I'll just, that's on heating up, and I'll just get my veg ready. So I'm going to just wash these and chop them. Soup started to simmer away. I'll just give it a stir, and we'll get our veg in. So I've chopped everything up fairly finely, and that's just so it'll cook quickly. And I kind of want the veg to be like smallish pieces through the soup rather than massive chunks on your soup spoon. So we've got cauliflower there, just, you know, finely sliced up into little pieces. The carrots just finely diced, celery again finely diced, and zucchini pretty fairly finely diced, so that can all go in. And then I should have mentioned earlier, another great thing to think about is spices, because you'll have them in your pantry, and they can add all sorts of places, all sorts of flavours, and take you to all different types of places. So small red chilies here that I've just chopped up, left the seeds in, living dangerously. So there we go. And it's up to you, depending on how thick the soup's looking, you might like to leave the lid on while it simmers. I'm actually happy if that reduces down a little bit, so I'm going to leave the lid off and just have a little taste. Wow, chili's definitely in there. So that's great. Then we just want to simmer that until the veg are tender. So depending on your veg, carrots, harder veg like carrots are probably going to take somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, depending on how small they are. So we'll check in on it again after 10 minutes. Okay, so the soup's been simmering for about 20 minutes all up, and I just found in the fridge, I completely forgot about them, some tomatoes and basil salad left over, so they can go in. That's fine, and you can see it's actually thickened up quite a bit. So it's up to you if you want to serve it more as a stewy kind of hearty meal in a bowl, you can. But I'm going to just add a little bit more water. Careful, because it's easy to overdo it and then make with a watery soup. But just give that a stir. And I've tested my veg and they're all cooked, so which is great. So now it's just a matter of having a little taste. Yum! Oh, the chili's quite hot. And then I'm just going to season it, so it just needs a bit of salt. So sometimes I use soy sauce to season, but today I might just keep it simple, give it a good dash of salt. Just give that a stir in. And then I'm just going to serve my soup with my cheese on top. So if you enjoyed this video, really encourage you to come on over and visit my blog. It's thestonesoup.com, and if you sign up for free email updates, you'll also get a free video cookbook that's packed with video recipes just like this one. So I hope to see you soon.